think I'm live. Hope everybody's well out there. I don't know if anybody's on yet, but you can watch this in the replay. It's a new year, 2023. Amazing. Hope it's everybody's best year yet. I missed last week because of Christmas stuff. Had family going on, that kind of thing. Sorry about that. I appreciate the folks that are on. I see a few people on now. So, new year, old enzyme. Go to the website, learn that. It's on there. I did not take the holiday songs down yet. If you want to go on the Fiddle Jam Institute and join as at least a free member, I think that it's available to anyone who's registered member. There's free membership on the Fiddle Jam Institute and paid membership. Paid membership, of course, you can, the monthly fee, you can see everything in the library. There's about 200 lessons in the library from all kinds of styles, from holiday songs, old enzyme, and fiddle tunes and jazz jams and gypsy jazz and pop tunes and a couple reggae tunes on there. If you want to get a good balance and good dose of well-rounded stuff, Fiddle Jam Institute's the place for you. I am blessed and cursed to be able to play most styles. I was trained classically, but took a left turn into the rock and roll world, the jazz fusion world, and pop rock, and gypsy jazz, and Cajun, and punk rock, and all kinds of things. So I've got a pretty wide base of experience that most violinists don't have, because I play other instruments as well, but violin's the main one. And you can benefit from that too. So if too wide of a palette doesn't interest you, there you can hone in on just one style, and it can be sorted by style and ability level, that kind of stuff. So, looking at my new glasses, I got new glasses this week. A little easier to see. Not my big old nerd glasses I had on most of the times before. So, what's new in a new year? I'm still working on my outlaw fiddles. Got my old blue one right here. Still working on my sound. I'm going to have an announcement of my own signature sound soon with electronic stuff. Sounds pretty cool. I'm very excited about it. I'll unveil it sometime in the future. And I will also, I'm toying with, besides these live streams that are mostly educational, I'm toying with starting a whole another channel just for my own musical interest, my performances. I see more and more players and bands doing this kind of thing. What do you think? Let me know. I'm thinking about, I see bands that just set up in their living room and play a gig, play as if it's a gig, and people donate money as if they're getting paid for the gig. And it may not make a ton of cash, but if I have enough following, and if everybody donates $5, it'd be like a cover charge to the bar. And I could probably have even a insiders club that would pay ahead of time or something, that would be on Zoom together. We could actually talk. So notice just came to me now, 5 minutes in. It came to me now that I'm online. Crazy, internet must be slow. Who knows? Maybe YouTube is slow. Let's assume that. So, anybody want to leave anything in the comments about what we'd like to do today? I was just teaching a song, Leather Britches, to a student. It's a cool song. It's in the Fiddler's Fake Book. If you don't know what a fake book is, it's a book that gives you enough to fake it. And there is fiddler's fake books. There is jazz fake books. Matter of fact, I got a couple of these things within arm's reach. There's one. Sorry, it disappeared from the camera. It was on the floor. The most famous fake book that I've run into on gigs is actually called the real book. Is that, can you read, is it backwards? It's backwards in my camera, but I think it's right way for you. This is a book. Any fake book has the essentials to be able to fake it. In this case, it's the melody and the chords. Now this is actually the 5th edition, the most famous one, I think. Here's an example. Have you met Miss Jones? The melody, written out, is what you need, and the chords that back it up. And every musician in the band should be able to fake it from there. The drummer just makes up the rhythm according to what the other players are playing. A saxophone player would play the melody. This is in C, in G clef, for C instruments. A saxophone would have to transpose, of course. There's this version in B flat and E flat for different horn players too. And the bass player would make up his part from the chord symbols. The guitar player, the chord players, the piano player would make up their parts from the chord symbols as well. And they all would follow the basic format of the song, and they play it over and over and over and over in the jazz world, and then take turns improvising over it and come back and play the melody and the chords together and end. That's the basic format of any jazz song in general. Since jazz is largely improvised, fake books really fell into fertile ground historically. Other styles, if you go to any music store that carries books, there aren't that many anymore. I know at Guitar Center there's a very small section for books. It's becoming a thing of the past. But there is the Best Loved 60s, Songs of the 60s fake book. There is the Beatles fake book. There's the Christmas fake book. There is, what else? Other fake books. Well, there's the Fiddler's fake book. You can get this on Amazon. I'll hold it up here. It's an excellent book. Fiddler's fake book. I don't sell this, but you can get it on Amazon. This is, if you want to get into fiddling, this is a scholarly book to have. It's like the Bible of fiddle songs. It's got about 500 songs in it. The other one is more handwritten. The history behind that is interesting. These are printed, and the title and the chords and a little bit of history. The songs have a little format. Am I holding it upside down? No, it's just backwards. It has a format to say, what style it is and the tempo it usually is in, and some people, discography of who has recorded, so you can look up and hear other people's recordings and their versions of this song. And the author, who was it again? David Brody, did a great job listening to all the different recordings. He must be really into fiddling, and kind of averaged out the best version, and he wrote it out for us. So I have never played all these songs myself, but it's a great mining thing. You can learn songs and teach songs out of it. It'd be a good New Year's resolution if you're into that sort of thing, to play a song a day or something. A year and a half from now, you'd be done. So those are fake books. So in the fake books, on the song Leather Britches, it tells the key, it tells what style it is, old-time bluegrass, it says, and it tells the chords. So you could make stuff up with the chords. And the cool thing is, you'll see by looking through a book like this, almost all bluegrass and fiddly tunes are all in the same few keys, which we've talked about here on this channel before as well. The key of G, the key of D, and the key of A are the most popular 3 keys of all time for all fiddle tunes. Why? Because the fiddle rules those worlds, and the fiddle happens to have those notes as open strings, and open strings are the most important thing to the fiddle drones. What was I doing there? I was just playing around with the G major pentatonic scale, which is G, A, B, D, E. G, A, B, D, E, G, A, B. It's the major pentatonic scale in G. It's 1, 2, 3, 5, 6 if you're into the number system, and the key of G. With the intervals, the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 5th, and the 6th. And with that scale, I was adding in the main 2 drone notes in that key, which is always the root in the key of G, which is G, and the 5th, which is G, A, B, C, D. So any G, any D, anywhere, as I make the devil symbol like rock and roll, right? Added in with those notes sounds pretty fiddly. I'm going to play the same exact notes and putting in an open G or open D anywhere I can. We'll add some rhythm to it. Sounds kind of cool right away. If you just play those notes. Just messing around with those notes. It sounds okay, but it sounds way cooler if you add the drones in this key. In the key of G, it's the root, the G, and the D, the 5 notes up. So not all songs are in one chord. Some of them in the Fiddler's Fakebook are in one chord, yes. Cotton Eye Joe is one of those, A chord the whole way through. Some of them change chords. In this song, Leather Britches on page 166, it goes to a D chord too. Do the same treatment. D, E, F sharp, A, B. Any of those letter names anywhere in the violin. So then it went down to G string, B and A. D, E, F sharp, A, B. D, E, F sharp, A, B. So if you're following along, what's the formula for droning in the key of D? Use the root and the fifth. So the root in the key of D is obviously D, and the fifth note is what? D, E, F sharp, G, A. So D and A. Now on the violin, the quick cheater's way to do it is not count up 5 notes. This chord is probably gone in the song by then. It would be just a note straight across in the violin because the violin is tuned in fifth. So if you're in open D, straight across to open A is its fifth. If you're in the key of G, its fifth is D. If you're in the key of A, E is its fifth because the violin is always tuned 5 notes apart. So if you're in the key of C, straight across is the third finger G. It's fifth. If you're in the key of F, C is its fifth. If you're in the key of B flat, straight across, low 1 to low 1. F is its fifth. So those are good notes to know. Now, those last couple examples with fingered notes are not really too easy to drone because they're not open strings. That's why the fiddlers all stay with the keys of G, D, and A primarily. I bet 75%, if not more, of the songs, probably 90% of the songs in this book are in the key of G, D, or A, or some maybe minor key related to those. So you can do the fiddling sound. If you want to sound fiddly, add drone strings. So I'm jamming on D and adding drones. Now, technically, the tough part of doing this sort of thing is not to squeak. Check this out. If you're droning a lower string drone, let's say you're playing on the A string, that's fine. Adding the D below, easy. Just tip your bow. But if you're droning the string higher, it's much more likely to squeal, and this is why. If you've watched ever my most popular video, Scratch and Squeak How Not To, I addressed this. Not in the case of drones, but in this idea how you can make the worst possible squeak on your violin, and it's by sloppy finger placement. So if you are playing D, E, F sharp of the D major pentatonic scale, and you want to drone the open A, which is the fifth, when you press the E note on the D string and have open A with it, you can't let any of your flesh at all, you can't let any of that flesh rub against the A string. You got to have your finger up on its tip or at a right angle, so you got to get it, maybe favor the other string or something, get it away from the A string at all costs. So check it out what happens if I play it sloppily. So here's D and A, here's E1 and A. Now I'm going to play it sloppy. I'm going to move my finger over, which is hard for me to do because I'm so used to it, but I'm going to let the back side of the flesh rub against the A string. That's got to be the worst sound on the violin ever. So you'd be playing the E note with open A, and your skin is touching the A string a little bit. Oh God, that's worse than a squeal, isn't it? So, you gotta bring your elbow in and do the classical thing. Probably get if you play with your palm on the neck, like some fiddlers do, you still gotta get your fingers up and over, so you somewhere favor towards the G string or something. It's easier if you have classical technique and drop your wrist and have the back of your hand flat with your arm flat-ish, I think. It'd be the same thing if you put the second finger and played with open A. I would do them separately. And when you can do it without moving or flinching, then... Now again, if I push my elbow out the wrong way and let my hand roll over so the flesh of that second finger touches the A string a little bit. You don't want to make that sound. That'll make everybody plug their ears and run, right? So, bring your elbow in a little bit, be the classical person for a minute. Takes a little practice. You can also do a double drone A. So if you get up there, I said any D, E, F sharp, A, B is the D major pentatonic scale. So A is one of the notes, but so is fourth finger on the D string in A. It's a cool sound when you get that. Here's the fourth finger alone. Nice. Here's open A. A little brighter, but still nice. And you get them together. It's cool, like they call it a chorusing effect. Sounds like two violins playing it. Kind of is. But that one you have to be even just as careful not to let the flesh of that fourth finger accidentally touch the A string higher. If you get sloppy with it and drop your wrist or you bring your elbow out away from you, yuck. So get it up on its tip. I just did a double D, didn't I? Try that. There's only 3 of those special pairs on the whole violin. Double Ds. Cool. Double A, so the fourth finger on the D string with open A. And double E's, the fourth finger on the A string with open E. It's okay to dip that fourth finger. That's the cool stuff as far as fiddlers go, and that's the special tricks that are the secret sauce to sounding fiddly, and why all the tunes in the Fiddler's Fake Book are usually in those 3 keys, G, D, or A. So you can do the tricks that they look for. The story I told a million times now to my students is when I first joined the band Leron Zydeco and the Hot Tamales. It was a Cajun Zydeco band out of Buffalo. I had come out with a kind of a Zydeco flavored album back in 1997, I think it was. And you can find it on my website and download the tracks if you'd like. It was fun, but I kind of glommed onto that style and started gigging also, not only with my own band, with Leron Zydeco. And Leron Zydeco was much more popular than my home band was in our town, I admit. And I did 4 albums with them. And we had a good thing with myself and the accordion Leron Zydeco. Ron Davis is his real name. And again, you might have, if you've watched these videos before, you might have seen, let's see. There it is. Let's see if I can, that violin right there, that's the one I played in Leron's Zydeco and Hot Tamales. I called it my Zyda fiddle. I painted Leron's accordion to match, so we had a matching violin and fiddle kind of thing going on. We were a good two-man front for that kind of band and sound. Him playing the accordion and I played the fiddle. And where was I going with that? I forgot why I brought that up. Nobody can say in the comments what I was talking about. I've forgotten now. Old timers. I'm playing old music and talking old timers. I forgot. That happens, doesn't it? Breathe, Perry. Why did I bring that up? It's gonna tell a good story. Oh, I remember now. We were recording our first recording, and we were recording in a friend's studio that had only 8 tracks at the time. He was doing it as a favor. He had bought this new piece of gear, and it was this 8-track recorder. And I said, come over and we'll record it at my house. So it was a kind of a budget recording. And later we went in bigger studios. But in this case, the accordion likes to play in whatever keys they like to play in. And the song we were doing was in the key of A flat, which is not a fiddly key at all. It's like fingering like crazy. Harder on the violin because there's no open strings. So I did a couple okay takes. And I was like, they were all right. And they said, yeah, it's okay. It wasn't too pizzazzy. And I said, wait a minute. And I'll be right back. And I tuned my violin down to, instead of A flat, I took all the strings down a half step and pretended that I was playing in the key of A. They went, oh, that's the sound we're looking for. You really can't do that in A flat. It's a lot harder to get these no open string zinging thing. So I retuned the violin, which in the classical world is heresy, I know. But you can retune as well. It's fair game to retune. And I encourage it. And later I tuned all my strings down a whole step for that band. And that was the Cajun sound. I found other Cajun players do that as well. But the lesson there was... Getting those open strings ringing is the part of the fiddler's sound. So I have a video on one of the oldest videos I ever did on YouTube, That Fiddle Sound. I think it's that, T-H-A-T, That Fiddle Sound. Check it out. Maybe if I'm not too lazy, I'll put it in the links, this video after it's posts. So anyways, that's the blabbing from my end and this end for this week. And we should be back to every week. And let me know in the comments if you have any encouragement for me doing a musical channel, not just an educational channel and fiddle building channel. I should always show off my #1 prototype here, the Outlaw Fiddle. Pretty cool. And I'll be showing this off a little more too, in the sound I'm really proud of. This is the fiddle I always wish I had when I was playing rock and roll. This is the one I wish I had when I was playing in Gamelan, the jazz fusion band. My tones weren't terrible, but they're much better now. I'm really happy with that. So, but I might start another channel. It'll be just my performances. Go on once a week like it's a gig. And play the tracks at first. Maybe eventually, if it's popular enough and there's money flowing enough, I could pay a band to come in and play with me in the studio. Live, once a week. People would donate money and hopefully be able to pay the musicians. And be cool. So give me a thumbs up if that's something that you'd like to see one day. And I could do just about any style I want. I'd do some of my own originals. I could do some of my vocal tunes. And I could do some rock tunes, some blues tunes. I could do some fiddle tunes. I could do some gypsy jazz. I might be able to take requests even. Or I could even publish the set list beforehand and take requests. So that'd be cool, and develop a little scene around that. That's what people seem to be doing in the gaming world, and I'm thinking maybe it might be a fun thing to try in the music world too. So if you got encouraged from me, let me know. And if you want to donate something now, you can even go to the website. There's a tip jar. Look on the site list on fiddlejaminstitute.com, and there's a tip jar if you want to leave me anything for these efforts. So, amen. Happy New Year, and we'll see you next time.